You know what gets me? Most people know that AI that is used is programmed to be difficult, especially when it comes down to identifying people from our community. And they know AI is really virtually, when it comes down to us, it's ineffective. But they will continue to use this and allow it to be problematic to us and don't care. So this story is coming out of New Orleans, and they are claiming they're struggling with using facial recognition in policing. How about not use it? But we know that's too much like right. So, in the summer of 2022, with a spike of violent crimes hitting New Orleans, the city council voted to allow police to use facial recognition software to track down suspects. The technology, the mayor, the police, and business supported as effective, fair in identifying criminals quickly. A year after the system went on, data shows the results have been almost exactly the opposite. Okay, then why continue to use it? Records obtained and analyzed by Politico shows the computer facial recognition in New Orleans has low effectiveness and is rarely associated with arrest and is disproportionately used on Black people. The first facial recognition search under the new policy occurred on October 21st, 2022, using surveillance footage to help identify a Black male suspect of a shooting by matching his picture with the database mugshot. The results unable to match low quality photo over the next year, the New Orleans PD would see a string of largely similar results. So it's completely ineffective, but they're going to go on and keep using it because they know that all the misidentifications are going to be on us. A review of nearly a year's worth of New Orleans facial recognition requests shows the system failed to identify suspects the majority of the time, and that nearly every use of the technology from last October to this August was on a Black person. So they're just using it exclusively on Black people, and it's failing to identify properly, but they're going to keep on using it, y'all. Although it has not led to any false arrests, which have happened in other cities, the story of the facial recognition in New Orleans appears to be confirmed that civil rights advocates have argued for years as police departments and federal agencies nationwide increasingly adopt high tech identification techniques that it amplifies rather than correct that underlying human bias of the authorities that use them. This department hung their hat on this. New Orleans council member at large, J.P. Morrell, a Democrat who voted last year against the facial recognition and has seen NOPD data. Its use of the system, he says, has wholly ineffective and pretty obviously racist. Facial recognition has many uses. You can use it to unlock your phone, to find yourself in a group photo, and to board a flight, but no use of the $3.8 billion industry has concerned lawmakers and civil rights advocates more than law enforcement. Much criticism has focused on the technical side of the facial recognition system work, Once trained to match faces, they compare photos captured from surveillance cameras to an existing database of arrest photos. The New Orleans case provided by the state police, many researchers have warned that facial recognition technology is biased against Black people because it's largely trained on white faces and that it's ineffective at promoting safety, as crime rates tend to remain the same with or without the technology in place. Then why have it? Why have it? They're admitting that it's completely ineffective. You're spending all this money on a technology and you're admitting it's ineffective. It's not working. It's failing the majority of the time. Wow. And y'all paying these AI engineers a fortune, and they created something that's completely ineffective. But the New Orleans records reveal that a human element as well, a system that can land unfairly on a community because it's selectively used on a particular group. Lawmakers of both parties on Capitol Hill have attempted to pass regulations limiting how police can use facial recognition for years, but have yet to enact any laws on the subject. Yeah, I guess it's sitting there right next to the George Floyd bill, huh? So, anyway, some state lawmakers have also tried to limit facial recognition, but so far have only been able to pass limited rules, like those preventing its use on body cameras in California or banning its use in schools in New York. A few cities with progressive leaning politics, such as San Francisco and Portland, have fully banned law enforcement from using the technology. It should be banned nationwide. So, for 2 years, New Orleans was one of the cities in the wake of George Floyd protests. The city council outlawed police use of facial recognition from December 2020 to October 2022. In the years since the ban was lifted, the NOPD has sent 19 facial recognition requests, according to record. Those requests for serious felony crimes, including murder and armed robbery. Two of them canceled because the city's police already identified the suspect before the search results came back. And another two were denied because the crimes committed were not eligible for facial recognition use. Wow. Y'all, it gets even worse. In the 15 facial recognition requests that actually went through, records show that 9 of them failed to make a match. And among the 6 matches, 3 turned out to be wrong. So you can say it failed 12 times out of 15. It only got it right 3 times. Just picture that. 15 times they tried to use this AI for facial recognition. It was only correct 3 times out of 15 tries. It's not even worth having. Y'all shouldn't be paying these AI engineers $500 an hour. You should make them give you a refund if this is what they're turning out. Only one of those 15 was for a white suspect. The first and only arrest based on facial recognition technology occurred on September 11th, months after the New Orleans City Council lifted the ban. The data was pretty much proven that advocates were mostly correct and said the city council morale, it's primarily targeted towards African Americans and does not actually lead to many, if any, arrests. Politically, New Orleans City Council is split on facial recognition, but a slim majority of its members, all Democrats, still support the technology use despite the results of the past year. Y'all sound like some idiots there. How are you going to support something that fails the majority of the time? Ooh, y'all need to be careful about who you elect in these city council seats for real. City Council Eugene Green introduced a measure to lift the facial recognition ban in 2022 and was one of the four council members who voted for it and said he still supports law enforcement use of facial recognition for the foreseeable future. Y'all need to get rid of Eugene Green. If you have it for 10 years and it only resolves one crime, but there's no abuse, then the victory for the citizens of New Orleans, said Green, who is black and represents the majority black district. The New Orleans Police Department presented Politico's analysis of data, did not respond to questions on statistics, but argued that the data shows the agency is following guidelines for using facial recognition. The fact that there were no arrests based solely on positive matches shows that investigators didn't rely on the technology alone and sought collaborating evidence, the NOPD said in a statement. Well, if it's not helping, then why continue to use it? That's the real question. And they have been heavily using it on our people. And look at how much it fails. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, how many millions did you spend on this technology that fails and wasted the taxpayer money? That's the real question. And you know what, y'all? If they use facial recognition and it's wrong, it should be lawsuits following that because they can ultimately uproot someone's life and throw them in jail for nothing. And we've already seen that happen. I've done stories on that. So, whenever they fail and your picture was used, you need to sue them, especially if they got it wrong. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.